everyone, Squirrelcore here, and today we're doing the introductory episode to another mod spotlight tutorial series. So this is a spotlight on actual editions, which you can see I was testing over here. Let's get rid of that block for now. So the mod has a bit of road gen. It has the black lotus. It has wild quinoa. It has wild coffee. Can I see what I'm looking for anywhere here? It also has wild flax, which can be seen right here, and wild rice down here. That will do, that will do. So, as per usual, I'll quickly explain what this mod does and then how to get started with it. This mod adds a little bit of everything. It adds mostly miscellaneous blocks. It adds a wireless way to transfer energy. It adds tools. It works off the RF API, by the way. It has a book that explains everything, where when you first open up the book into the world, it will actually open up onto this page, which gives you a very, very simple explanation on how the mod works. And from there, you will basically need to figure things out. However, I prefer to just show you guys how it works, and some of you prefer to be shown rather than read it. And that's where we're going to go from here. Now I am going to be critiquing this mod a bit as I go, as I always do. But let's go over some of the first things you're going to see. First of all, there's these all-in-one tools. I personally despise anything like this in a mod because of personal reasons. I do not like multi-tools that you can just craft. Like, these are way too cheap for me. They all have the same recipe. The first ones you'll probably craft will be the stone one, probably. And it's just everything you need in one tool. And I don't like it. Because look at that attack speed. This is that attack speed. There's hardly any difference. And this does 6 attack damage. This does 5. But it has all these other functionalities too. So it's just a superior in every way tool to the ones it's made out of because it does everything. I am going to... I for some reason typed in game mod at one point. I'm going to just show you. It can hoe. It can't make paths, to my knowledge. The developer should let me shift right click to do that. That would be a good suggestion for him there. But let's get rid of that. These are one of the first things you'll stumble on, as well as the world gen. There's a bit of stuff you can do with the world gen. You can make toast and crafting people like this. And the big deal is you can then create things like chocolate. You can make a submarine sandwich. The knife is quite quick to make. There's cheese. So this mod just adds a bunch of recipes on top of everything else it does. Meaning not only do you get amazing tools to start with, which are these, which can then pretty early on be upgraded because this is made with iron. It's basically just the material cost of these is identical to iron. And it's just slightly better. That slightly better is probably going to be enough for quite a number of you. Just, yeah, adds a lot. I'm going to be eating burgers as I need food in this video series, and we're just going to quickly jump into the first little bit of things that we're going to see here. So there's a book that will explain anything that you need more information on, and there's also a nice piece of JEI integration, which is this. I can see a little bit from the book when I click on them. But the first things you need to construct, whether you want to or not, if you want to use 90% of this mod, you need to make an atomic reconstructor and a coal generator. Now you will see that there's this whole control to see things. This is on by default. This gives you some advanced info. On things with NBT, you can hold shift to see the NBT data as well. And what you need is you need a coal generator and an atomic reconstructor. One of the things you'll actually need for that, by the way, is black quartz, which just spawns in the world. You mine it, it drops a block, which you then process like any other ore. It's the only ore this mod actually adds. All of the crystals you need to craft everything, which you'll see a lot of, which when I saw crystals I assumed like, oh wow, it adds a million types of origin crystals. And then it didn't, and I was very confused, so it took me a while to get this. So you will see a couple blocks have this redstone mode when you hover over them. What this is done, by the way, mod developer is LPAC, is you right click with the redstone torch anytime you see that, and it lets you switch to between redstone modes. By default, it just fires unless it's receiving redstone signal, so redstone to turn off. I prefer to put most things into pulse mode and then slap a button on it. Now you get this nice little coal generator, which generates 30 RF per tick. This takes I believe it's 1,000 RF per tick to do everything it does. So that should give you rates right there. Let's see here. Module. General. No. Back. Wayla. I can't do. I don't think that feature's still there. I'd have to dig around for it. But here we are. Yeah, I don't see the button I'm looking for, just so I could bring up uses. It uses about 1,000 RF per, not per tick, but per shot, plus a bit more when it's converting things. How does it convert things? Well, let's just give us a crafting table and some redstone and some iron. So when it has power, which by the way, coal generator just requires coal, I find that you'll generate so much power with a single block of coal that that's your best bet. And we're just gonna place down some absurdly large wall of redstone blocks. And just so you can get a demonstration of the size of this shot and this here. So it will shoot through items. It needs to hit a block to actually work. But that one shot converted everything in that area. So it goes out about 3 once it hits things. Now I could go back like this so you can see it. Yeah, it will go 2. So there is the block it hits plus 2 in each direction. And it has a square radius, which is a weird term that only applies in Minecraft. So you'll just get these, and that's how you're going to get all of the crystals you require. You can find out the crystal recipes in just enough items, which I strongly suggest you just, anytime you see you need a crystal, look it up in just enough items. The reason for that being, well, yeah, just look it up. You can also find them in the books. There's several types. There's Emeraldic, which uses emerald. There's Void that uses coal. There's Enery, which uses iron. There's Restonia, which uses redstone. There is, I'm just going through them all in my head. Diamond Time, which uses diamond. And I believe that's all of them. Because everything has a crystal form and a block form. Yeah. Right? So let's see. Redstone for those. Oh, lapis for these. Diamond for those. Coal for those. Emerald for those. Iron for those. I knew I was forgetting one. But yeah. Given time, I've actually gotten very used to crafting them. I don't use these much, do I? Yeah, they're not anything I actually use. So this mod, of course, adds some functional stuff and some cosmetic stuff, which I won't really be covering, in food, which I also won't be covering in detail. But the important part, and we're just going to put that there in case we need it, is going to be a couple more. Is there anything else I need to cover in this episode? There is not. So in the next episode, we're going to cover how to generate power beyond just this. It's going to cover the entire power system used. It uses RF, but it does have its unique mechanics to it. But it is the RF API. So if you have a preferred way of transferring power, RF, then use it and just use the generating, or if you want whatever. But the next one will be valuable for those of you who want to know how power generation and manipulation works in this mod. So thank you all for watching. Bye bye.